Howdy, welcome back. So for part two here, I want to talk about mostly merging like the Spartan warrior sense that get in that passion, that directness, that assertiveness, and maybe channeling through some of that like wrath of God, rage, anger and things that some of the that when you realize there's a problem, there is a solution, but you're helpless as to what it is in this moment. Sometimes you just got to generate some energy and just move, get it through. So what has really allowed this system to continue working for me, staying awake, staying up, staying woke, staying moving my body, staying in the growth, and not having to fall, take a day off to regenerate. Like today's my Sunday. Today I'm chilling, This is my chill day, and I've only done like 200 push-ups. I've only done about 100 sit-ups. But it's not even noon, so it's like I'm gonna get more done. But this is my relaxed day, and I'm just, if I still have energy, I'm still gonna keep going. And that's really how I want to. That's how I want to live. And so the Spartan way of life, they're for them, war was easier than their training. For them, work was easier than their training. And so they love to work because it's like, man, that's a slower pace than just I'm living life. And that's just the way that's just the way it is. That's just the way I want to live. So that's what I chose for myself. And it took a while, like it took probably a full month of me playing with that idea before it like started to settle in my bones. Is like, yeah, you know what? I really want this. And my reality started reflecting like, man, a lot of people like a third of your life asleep, man, but you don't have to if you can just meditate and then get straight into deep sleep. Save yourself 3 hours every night of that initial transaction of like falling asleep. Wow, like what could I do with an extra 3 hours a day? Wow, like maybe I study something that'll earn me $50 an hour, and then eventually that's an extra $150 I'm making every day because I'm applying myself and giving to the world my skills, and I'm not just sleeping on myself or sleeping on my talent or hoarding my skills. So it's like, wow, that's beautiful. So then what would I have to adjust to maintain that pace? My pace is what I had to adjust. Listening to my full self and just following through and trusting. Because if you don't trust yourself, ain't shit gonna work out until you figure it out. Your life is just going to manifest and show you like you're stuck on level 12. It's like you're not going to get to 13 until you pass level 12, and level 12 is trust yourself. Just arbitrary number, but for sake of example, like you gotta, if you don't trust yourself, then life is just going to show you and give you more and more opportunities to know like, wow, you actually did. If you had just followed your first instinct, you would have been right. Or like, wow, you filled in numbers like letter C first, and then you scratched it out and you put in like, all right, it might be answer D. Then it's like you get your test back and D is wrong and it was C and you were right the first time. Like most of the time, that's the case. Malcolm Gladwell has a really good book called Blink that talks about just the accuracy of the human brain and um, our ability to know things almost instantly, pretty much light speed, as fast as it takes for the light to bing, bing, bing. You know, um, this this sleep cycle, this this diet, I can't take a break. I have to be fully committed to this, and that is the one catch or hang up. Is there are times where someone wants to maybe do something that's a little more like societally normal, like let's go out for drinks, let's go have like some X junk food that it doesn't fit in. It's not a smoothie or salad. Sorry, um, it's like, or it's like, oh, they want to go stay out and watch a movie and like sit in the movie theater and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's 2 hours. I can't really do push-ups in there. Sorry, I'm gonna do something more productive. Like if you want to come and hang out and like read a book with me, I would love that. We could both go on that adventure together. And it's like, it's just uncommon, especially here in America, to see people a little more actively involved in themselves and in like another person. It's a little more common to see people actively involved in like their phone, their social media, you know, um, which is okay. you know, that's interacting with other people too, and it's building up, and it's like this is a beautiful tool. But for me, I mostly use this when I'm alone or like if someone calls. Um, and then, or like if I'm looking for inspiration, I have inspirational things I follow on Instagram and Facebook and what have you. Um, and then I get back to my workouts, or I'll play a podcast while I'm doing something. You know, like if you really love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made up of. That's Bruce Lee, and that's golden. That's shaped my life so much. Um, so what held me up the past 4 years? Why wasn't I doing this until 4 days ago? Here's the catch. I was waiting for something else to help me choose. Like, I'll just have this. I'll have this master show me this tool, and then after that, I'll be good. Or I'll get my supplements just right, and I'll just take these nanotech CBDs, and then I'll never get sore or something. Like I'll just get this nice thing and it'll work. It's like this. You are the strongest medicine you have for yourself by a factor of like a trillion. You know, like you can do more for yourself than like 10 grams of facing DMT could do for you. Honestly, though, like there's probably going to be some comments about that, but like there was nothing I was waiting for. There was absolutely nothing. It was a complete illusion that was basically continuing a story of waiting for a something before I did a something. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. How about tomorrow? How about tomorrow? Tomorrow became 4 years. I got a lot done in 4 years. I did a lot of other things, which is great, that I maybe couldn't have done or wouldn't have done. It's all perfect, right? But now that I've built up a drop of momentum, of dosing on myself, of being more just me in my body instead of a little more high, or feeling a little better, a little more relaxed, a little more joy or euphoria, a little more like mental stimulation, or like waiting for, like, I'll go have my cup of coffee and then I'll do some push-ups, and then the coffee's not sitting right with me, so I have to eat. I ate some food, so now I don't really feel like doing push-ups. I'll wait till I digest it. It's like, oh well, I got busy doing this other thing, and so now I got to eat again, and I don't know if I'm kind of hungry. Maybe I just don't want to do push-ups. I'll do it tomorrow. It's like you got to act before any of that shit happens. Like now, no, 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 no. Now, 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 now. Yes, I love taking good care of my body, because I'm a god, and this is my secret temple. Amen. So, other thing I wanted to mention in this video, and I'll leave a little space for channeling something open if it comes. My main idea last idea I had, I wanted to get across for sure, was reading and chanting sacred material, whether it's Hare Krishna, or it's Buddhist chants, or Taoist, or Native American, or African, what have you. There's a lot of power available to us in our voice. Saying is believing. Seeing is just a feedback loop. It's affirmation, like, of the dream you created. Yeah, it's still there. The ground's still beneath my feet. Yes, it is. Is that light switch exactly right there? Is it it's right where you thought it was? Don't hesitate. Seeing is knowing. Saying is believing. What we say comes back to us. What we say shapes our reality. There's a lot of science to prove. Someone knows the link, drop it in. If you don't have a word for something, you can't feel it. You can't know it. Un momento. Okay. Sorry about that. So in doing a workout, you crystallize what you read or what you chant into you, you know? So if you're just saying it, that's cool. It's crystallized in your still body. But if you're able to do it in movement, it fractals through you in a wholly other way. You know, like when you're just listening to music laying there versus like when you're listening to music dancing. So I wanted to change what working out felt like from being like a chore or like a job or like something I have to do to take care of myself to becoming something enjoyable that I want to do to take care of myself. And the trick for me is in dynamic movement. So I still do my solid form push-ups, but I also do like wave form push-ups where it's more like, and I'll wave my body, you know? I'll still do like solid form chin-ups, but then I'll do the wave form chin-ups to pull in those last ones because I really want to get them, even though I'm kicking. It wouldn't count for like a military or your PE test or what have you if they're all picky about that, but you still got up. You still, you use your full body to still achieve what that goal was. And that is something massively overlooked. Massively overlooked. Because I've been doing that to sustain my ability to move without wearing myself out. So I'll stop 3 or 5 push-ups before that, like, ah, and you fall, I stop before that one, 3 or 5 before, where I feel it's starting to get close, and then I do dynamic ones. And then with the dynamic ones, I stop again before I get close to actually burning myself down. So what I am experiencing is like that flame inside of me. It like sputters, becomes coals, and then another log gets thrown on the fire, and it comes up to being flames again, and it never gets so put out that like I'm just panting and exhausted. I still do my cardio. I bike a couple miles up the hills. I'm all about it. I go on runs. I'll swim. Ocean and the pool and the what have you. It's like I want to move around 100%, but I don't want to wear myself out. And I think it's a myth that you need to. I think it's a myth that it's good for you. I think it's a myth that it's the best thing or that it builds muscle the fastest. I've torn more than 50 muscles and joints structures in my body. This MCL twice, this MCL once. That 6 muscles in my leg, guys. I bent over to pick up a pencil because I was running, weightlifting, swimming, and doing martial arts every single day. It was like an 8-hour day ritual. It's fucking crazy. It was too much. It's too much. It's that Scorpio in me. If you follow astrology, it's like I love the intensity. So it's a little bit paradoxical and ironic. Some people think it's the craziest thing. It's like no one does that sleep cycle. You're like Benjamin Franklin, Nikola Tesla. That's far out. But for me, that's what's balance. And if you think you're one of those personalities where the most balanced thing to do would be to constantly be doing something, and not to like overextend yourself or get lazy with nothing to do, but to like constantly have a dance or a song in you, even through sleep. If you love life that much and you love yourself that much and you love experience in this world so much, reach out. I'm your tribe. I'm your guy. I probably have maybe another 20 or 30 people I know who are as sincere and dedicated to staying awake, if you will, staying conscious, because the unconscious mind is 99.99% of what is going on, for sure. But the 1.0001% of your conscious mind can expand and go anywhere in any bubble of your unconscious mind. So you can tailor your experience and your dream to feel a lot more like a dream, to be a lot more enjoyable and like, well, dreamlike, magical. And I think every single person ever wants life to feel magical, wants experience to feel new and exciting, wants to be stimulated, turned on, and in love with their reality, but not whoa, too much, you know? They still want to have that relaxing magic. And so it's always paradoxical to me, like, how do you sit in meditation this whole time and just, but you're relaxed, like you're sitting up, you're flexing your muscles. How could that be relaxed? Well, there's a fine line that you can begin to feel, become sensitive to, and then you can identify yourself with it. And when you become the line, there's no more fence to be on either side of. You're the one who's making the fences, you know? Why are you making the fences? Well, because I like the park over here and I like my house over there and I like the neighbors over here and I don't want the deer to eat my garden, you know? It's nothing bad or wrong to build walls or fences. It's like in the Taoist book here, it talks about let's see, I just find the valley spirit never dies. It is the woman, primal mother. Her gateway is the root of heaven and earth. It is like a veil barely seen. Use it, it will never fail. This is just one translation, give you, mind you. This is a lot of good. There's another one in here. It talks about the valley spirit and the primal mother creating veil after veil after veil, and like the Tao is the mother of the 10,000 things. And so, as much as we want unity and connection, there is a very sacred force which we must come to know, understand, love, and respect if we are to advance as alchemists in our awareness. There's a very sacred and powerful force which is separating everything, making distinct this one from that one, that they are separate as much as is possible in a world where everything is one in a quantum field of this universe, this one song. It creates difference and dissonance, which actually does guide harmony where to go. It creates the fear of the unknown, the lack of understanding, and the forgetting, so that we can remember again. And it guides us. Our fears guide us where our path is most excelled. And so there's this is the other thing that wanted to be channeled in our living this way, staying awake, conscious, and aware, so that we can fine-tune this vessel to give back most efficiently, effectively, efficaciously to those around us. I'll just throw in another quote here. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life, seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day in which you cross over the great divide. It goes on. It's Tecumseh Sherman, I think, of the Pawnee tribe, Native American elder, got some wisdom to share. That one I read every day for a long time, the full thing. But that really speaks to me, guys. If I think my life's purpose is all about teamwork and helping others be their best selves, best version of, so we can all be the best version of ourselves. Or to simply be aware of what the self has to offer, because we have a lot of gifts in us that may lay hidden until then, you know, until you uncover them. And there's endless ones to uncover. So why do we spend time complaining or caught up on this or that, you know? Because we're choosing weakness while we're in pain instead of choosing strength while we're in pain. You always have that like monotone metronome. It's keeping the pace. It's the heartbeat. But you can play the falling shepherd's tone and go do your downward spiral. You can do the shepherd's tone, rising shepherd's tone, and ascend up in the never-ending spiral of life. Thanks for hanging in with me there. To keep it rising, there's a 1, 2, 3 notes. So it's like, but the 1, 2, 3, they're always a carrier. So that when the scale gets to the end and starts over again, there's still that do 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 It's the same ones, but it makes it sound like it's always going up. Because the eyes will affirm your reality that you're creating. Back to, yes, the ground is still there. Yes, the light switch is still right, exactly there. So those are, your eyes will affirm if your rising shepherd tone is working to you and you are guiding yourself like the shepherd. Up and 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 up. Is there anything else? Yeah, dynamic movement. So I feel into any place in my body, especially after doing so much work. Massage really helps. And guess what? It's not to feel good, it's to feel the most sensation. Because wherever needs it the most is going to feel the most sore. Right now, it's my hamstrings, right here mostly, and my calves. So I'm getting in there, whoo, in there, and breaking up those, big tight bands that hold my body from falling over when I'm standing on my feet, right? Ooh, like right there, you can pinch it and feel it. But on my left one, I already got this one before the video. It's a lot smoother. And even though I pinch, the bands are opening up. Like those 3 tension-free people I met. They have been the greatest guides that I've met in the flesh. It's a lot of awakening material to read and listen to. And I hope you consider this to be something that furthers your education. And as I've been sober, I'm realizing information, if it's in your path and aligns, will get you higher than chemicals, because you'll rewrite something in your brain that will rewrite the chemical happening of you. It's cool. It's awesome. It's your own. It's uniquely you. It's no one else can touch it, shake it, mess it up. It's all for you. And that is very, 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 very precious. It is, to me, what freedom is all about. Self-expression, creating yourself, using this body as a vehicle for your soul to experience whatever your soul wants in this dream realm, where you can have anything you want as long as you respect the rules of the game, you do adequate work to earn your prize. There's an energetic trade in karmic balance, like I'm saying with the universal laws, natural law. If you respect the natural balance, you can summon the new things you desire. And I believe this to be true. And if you want to test it with me, drop it in the comments. I will respond. If you have a crazy question, I will give you a crazy perfect answer. It's just my gift as a channel. And I'm open, especially anything in this pathway of self-empowerment, radical self-growth, giving to yourself so you can give back to the world in much greater capacity. Bringing more soul presence in so that when a moment is expressed, it's of a much higher density of information worth remembering. A good chant I can leave you with, something I do a lot of push-ups to. It's from the Temple of Set. It's an ancient Egyptian. Kefera, kefer, keferu. And what it means is pretty much, by my coming into being, the way of being is come to be, or is coming into being. However you'd like to place it in your mind, whether it's you're bringing it into the moment or if you're bringing it into like the next step. So I usually do, I think it's coming to be. When I'm still, and when I'm in dynamic, it's coming into being with me as I am being, because being is a little more active. Yeah, so to crystallize that in movement, it is, this one specifically grants me confidence, trust, and courage, I think, to allow my full self to expand and to express, to come into being, to be saved and crystallized into my body, so that I don't let my light be put out by others or fall to social order when I know there's a higher standard that I could uphold. And we have a lot to share. We have a lot to give. We are here for the enlightenment of humanity, for the enjoyment of all, and the heightening density of communication, for the growth of community in rapid, effective expansion, because we're all one. And this age of oil and centralized power is coming to an end. So as we get older, we're going to see a lot of ancient things fall away and new technology arrive. And it's going to grant us more and more freedom to explore ourselves and be more authentic, spend a little more time, diving into what it is to be human, and a little less time with the robotic things. I think the NPCs, like the in the video games, the completely written out characters, they don't have any of their own life force. A lot of those programs that run in our collective conscious are being dispelled, and we're becoming a little more alive and like capable of that dynamic movement from any point of our source, because we're not relying on so much old programs. We're a lot building our own. And yeah, thanks for doing this with me. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Comment something. If you saw this, I know you thought something other than just echoing. Catch you next time. Elio Naya out.